Yay, hello everyone. How are we doing?
Hello, everybody.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry for
Yeah,
the
hope you guys having a good evening.
yes. Sorry for the delay. We were having some technical issues. You'll probably notice that Anika and I have a slight delay as well, but it's fine. It's more to manage, which is good.
Oh, yes. So, whenever you guys join us, please introduce yourselves.
Yes.
And yeah. So, welcome to our business webinar today. So, we are both teachers in Milan in our Meraviglio campus, in our Meraviglio school campus. I don't know why I said that. Um, we are going to begin with an introduction ourselves, and in the meantime, tell us where you are, what your names are, and how you are doing. So my name is Anika. I'm from Bangladesh originally, and I've been living in Italy for 6 years. And before that, I used to live in Malaysia for a long time. And what about Jadene? Can you tell us something about yourself?
Yes, I can try. So my name is Jadene. Um, I am from London in England and I'm 25 and I moved to Milan in October. Um, and yeah, it's okay. It's been an okay time. I don't mind it. Obviously, a lot of it is in quarantine, but what can we do? We have
Yeah.
Marco from Rome. Hi, it's nice to see you again. I've not seen you in a while. And also Deborah from Rome. Um, so two students from Rome. And I was saying it's always so nice that we get this chance to do the webinars because it's nice
Mm.
getting to meet students from other places, and getting to interact with them, even if we can't actually see you. Um, So yeah, it's nice. Sorry. So again, with our technical difficulties, we hadn't decided if we should do intermediate or advanced emails. I think intermediate is a decent level,
Oh,
but we'll see.
great, great. Yes.
If it gets too easy, we can switch it back. um, so tell us, guys, what do you do for work? And in your job, do you have to send a lot of emails or receive many emails? And when you do, are they for internal colleagues, so within your company, or do you often interact with people outside of your company? So let us
Yeah.
know. Do you have to send many emails, Anika?
So I do have to send emails only for internal purposes in the company. So to managers or consultants, maybe. But I don't have to write emails to people outside the company, so not to students. But I can imagine that the
No, not as
consultants
a.
or the consultants may
Yeah,
have to exchange emails with students. Yeah. So
I'm
do you
sure.
write
Have
emails
you ever
regularly?
had?
Sorry, you go ahead,
Again,
Jadine.
not. It's the delay. Um, no, I also don't have to write emails in this job as a teacher. In my
Mm-hmm.
last job, I was working in a bank and I had to write a lot of emails. Um, but have you ever had a job in the past where you had to write a lot of emails?
Oh, yes, I've had to write emails in two different jobs, I guess. So one of these jobs I did was a sales job, and it involved writing emails to clients. So almost every day you had to write at least 10, up to 10 emails, if I remember
Oh
right.
no, that's quite a lot. That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
I always find it's very difficult sometimes to get the tone of emails. When you start in a
Mm,
new company, you often have to write an email draft and then again and
mhm.
again until you find the right way to say something friendly but
Yes.
firm. Deborah says, I'm an accountant and I receive some emails. It depends on the day. In this period that we work at home, I receive a lot of emails. Yeah.
I can imagine.
Sure.
Okay. So Marco here says, I often send emails for reporting something. I deal with communication and I receive them as well. So yeah, communication. So of course. Okay,
So I'm assuming a lot of
Deborah,
those are external. And you go, Anika.
So Deborah says, in my previous job, I received a lot of emails, about 50 to 100. My goodness. What type of job was it? What did you do at the
Wow.
time?
Horrible. It's okay if your job is in administration. So it's your job to deal with the emails and everything and communicate with everyone. But if you have other tasks to do and other responsibilities, but you get a lot of emails, it can be very annoying because it means that you have less time for your other responsibilities. It's difficult.
Yeah, definitely wastes a lot of time, I guess. Oops, sorry.
Yes. It's okay. So shall we begin? Because I know we were a little bit late. Anika, would you like to read the introduction and tell us what we're doing?
Yes, of course. Sure. So in this business activity, we are going to talk about first contact with a potential client. We're going to talk about email, introductions, and polite inquiries. Inquiries are
Okay, I like.
questions.
Yeah, it's true. Although I actually, maybe Anika, you can teach me because I always mix up enquire and inquire. Do you know the difference?
I used to think it's usually the American and British version. So I always thought that inquiry is the
Ah, so is it the
English
same?
version. Yeah, that's what I would
Okay,
say. Yeah.
that makes me
But
feel
then
better because really I'm always confused.
yeah, so I normally use inquiry with an E. That's what I'm used to personally. What do you
Oh,
normally like? What
yeah, I
feels
use
natural
with
for you?
an
Okay.
I.
That
Yeah,
makes
well, I
sense
maybe
because maybe it's more English to say inquiry.
possibly,
Yeah.
possibly. And Deborah tells us I was a consultant and I worked for different customers in different teams, so I received a lot of emails. Okay, yes. So again, I'm sure like our consultants. Bless them.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so Anika, would you read the beginning slide? Although it's a bit small, so I'm just gonna make the screen. Wow, that did nothing. That did not make the screen any bigger. Okay,
But
will
it's
you
okay, I
read the
can still
screen
read
for
it.
me?
Yeah, no problem at all. So, getting your name out. First question is, what do you use emailing for on a daily basis? Is email an adequate form of first contact in the following situations? Why or why not? So these are the situations. Inquiring information about a business, trying to sell your product to a client, looking to buy a product, inquiring about a product you already own, applying for a job. Okay.
Okay.
So also
So the
the
first,
title of the slide is quite interesting, like getting your name out. So to get your name out would be to let yourself be known to people. So this is especially important when you are applying for a job. You're getting your name out, saying, "Okay, this is me. I'm introducing myself." Okay.
okay. So the first question, we've already mentioned a bit, but what do you use emailing for on a daily basis? So of course, Marco, Deborah, you can answer. But Anika and I will also just discuss it. So not so much in a teaching environment, but in a corporate environment, in a corporate work environment, um, then usually you're doing work with different teams or within different people in your team. So to make sure that everyone has up to date information, is one reason. So to give out information, also to ask for information about where everyone is on a stage of work.
Yeah. Sure. So for information, also to organize meetings, you want to
Yeah.
tell everybody the time and place. So get information out there.
Yes.
So yeah. So I know that.
Outside, sorry, I was going to say outside of work, you can also, or within work, you can use emails negatively. So you can use them to make complaints, um, formally or informally. But you can also use them for positive things. So you can use them to create social events, and get to know people in your team more or throughout your office more.
Yeah, so I like the word complaint. So just in case you guys didn't know, complaints are when you are giving a negative feedback about something. So let's
Yeah.
say you're waiting for
Okay. So for me, Anika is frozen. Um,
Okay, I hope, can you
oh
still
no,
hear me,
you've come
Jadene?
back. Yes, sorry, you froze. But I didn't hear your example,
Okay, so
Anika.
sorry about the connection problem. I got, I got disconnected for a bit.
No
Okay,
problem.
okay. So as I
Um,
was saying, yeah.
no, give us your example.
Yeah, so I was talking about a complaint that you might wanna write a complaint email to um, a company where you just bought a ordered a product online and you're not really receiving it. If it's taking a long time, you usually, if you're worried, you want to write a feedback or a letter of complaint, email of complaint. So I can imagine Deborah, who is a consultant, may want to write email for other purposes,
Mm,
and Marco as well. So tell us about why you guys write email.
exactly. And then for the second question, so is email an adequate way to make first contact in the following situations? For all of them, I would probably say yes. So to inquire information about a business, definitely an email is a nice way to go about it. Um, if you urgently need information, you can call. Also, a lot of people say it makes you look better if
Mm.
you call. But personally, at least for English people, we hate speaking on the phone. It's like an awkward situation to speak to someone you don't know, and maybe you're busy. So it's always nice to first send an email. If you
Mm-hmm.
haven't received anything after whatever is a reasonable amount of time, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, send a follow up email. So this is the second email, just to remind someone to reply to you. And then if they still don't reply, call. But obviously, if the information you need is just very small, maybe if you send an email and no one's replied within a day, you can call again you can call the next day and it's fine. So it's all about context.
Yeah.
And then Anika, what do you think about number two? So trying to sell your product.
Right. So I think so. Before I get to that, there is a comment here from Marco. He says, apart from work, I write emails for asking for information. But I prefer to make a call. It's more immediate. Okay, so for your job specifically, I can understand. And Deborah
Mm.
says the second one, I think it's a bit old. Sell products.
Yeah,
Um, it's not so
no, I
modern.
agree.
Yeah,
So
me
trying
too.
to
I
sell
agree
a
with it.
product by
Mm,
email,
mm,
if someone has questions about your product, then they
mm,
can't ask you. or they can ask you in an email, but then they have to wait for your reply. So really, it's not a good way to do it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, one thing
Although,
I would say to Marco though, oh, sorry, you can go first, Anika.
although I was thinking that for selling services or for providing services, sometimes emails could be useful. If this is an event where people are, if the service is an event where people are invited, very often emails are used. So, yeah.
Yeah, it also depends if you already have a connection to the company. But yeah, for first contact, honestly, I think in most cases for first contact, an email, it depends. If it's first contact and you know you are going to have more contact in the future, you already know it, then it's nicer to call because it's nice for someone to get an idea of who you are and to have a friendly conversation. But if you're not sure, or if you're only expecting to deal with someone just one time, then probably send an email first and see if you've got a response.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jadene.
Yes, and Deborah says, I usually write emails to send a recap, documents, or maybe ask for someone to call me. Wouldn't say recall, but we would say call me back. When I can't call someone, yeah.
Yeah. But the word recall exists in English. It has a very different meaning.
Yeah,
It means to remember.
exactly. So we can say, oh, I recall the first time we met is
Yes.
to remember.
Yes.
Or if you want to talk on the phone about you calling twice. So, for example, if I call Anika and she doesn't answer, I can leave a message and say, will you call me back? So Anika will call me. Or if I'm going to call her again, I can say, I'll call you back, or I'll redial you. I can redial, which is to put the numbers in again. Okay. Yes, and then we have looking to buy a product. Again, yeah, you can email, you can call. I think people are usually quite happy if someone wants to buy from them. So then you have a position of power. I think you have the position of power, so I would call then because they want to talk to me. But I wouldn't like it if someone was hassling me on the phone and calling me about me buying something.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, all about context.
Yeah, different situations call for different actions.
Okay. No, you just have to read it. And again, culturally as well, cultural differences between England and Italy. Italians are a lot more confident and more open, whereas I'm sure everyone knows English people, we don't like to be too direct because we don't want to bother anybody. So you have to take this in mind. It can be quite startling if someone calls you and you're busy and you're not expecting a phone call. This is the worst thing, I think, having an unexpected phone call, because then you don't feel prepared and it's horrible as an English person. But then I know lots of people who love to speak on the phone. They think it's fine.
Okay. Yeah. I also think that writing an email is much more effective as well, because you can go back and read through it. Like if there was any useful information, you can always refer back to it. So it's something that really stays. So in my opinion, I mean, if I have to generalize, it obviously depends on context. Like sometimes you will need to get an information really quickly. So you need to make a phone call, but in general, I find emails very effective.
Yes, okay. So here we have an example of an email of someone's first contact with a group. And Anika, if you would like to read this email
Yeah.
out, that's great. And you
Yes,
guys can listen to
absolutely.
the email, read it, say if you think it's a good email or not, and then try to find expressions in the text where this person, Kim, is introducing themselves. And it's just not getting any bigger, and I don't know why, but
Oh, don't worry. I've just opened it on my computer as well. Hope it's just checking if it's the same one. Okay.
oh, okay. No, now it's a bit bigger. Okay.
Okay, so dear Mr. Kingsley, my name is Kim Jones and I'm writing on behalf of easytax.com, the online tax filing website. As Director of Marketing at EasyTax, I'm looking to expand our visibility through advertising and think your latest banking app offers great potential for us both. We want to appeal above all to those who already use online banking. For more information on Tax, I'm attaching our company presentation. I'd love to discuss a collaboration in further detail. Please let me know if you'd be free for a call next Monday, 27th April. In the meantime, any information you could send would be greatly appreciated. Looking forward to hearing from you. Regards, Kim Jones.
Okay, so this is quite a nice email. I think they've got the right balance between being professional but trying to be a bit friendly as well. Um,
Hmm.
and can you see, or as well, is there any language that you like? Let me know. Or is there any language that you're unsure about? Um, but can you find any examples or any expressions in the text where Kim is introducing himself? What do you think?
Yeah. So
Anika,
I can
can you
see.
spot any?
Oh, yes. So at the very beginning, Kim says, "My name is Kim Jones." Okay.
Exactly. So he's
Hmm.
letting them know his name. So that's the
Hmm.
first way, I think, to introduce yourself. And then what's the expression he uses to introduce his company?
So for introducing his company, he says, "On behalf of Easy Tax." Okay, so I'm writing
Ah,
on behalf of. Or,
yes. No, it's true.
yeah.
So this is not one that gets underlined, but I agree. So we're saying my name is this person, and I'm
Hmm.
writing for the company. I agree with that.
Hmm. But then for his
Also, in
position, he says, "as." Like, if you're,
exactly.
when,
So
yeah.
yes. So here it's a really nice way to let someone know exactly who you are
Hmm.
and what you do. It's so
Yes.
nice. Marco has also said on behalf of, I agree, and lovely Deborah. So as director of marketing, so I would always start an email. Obviously now I'm a teacher, so I would say, as a teacher at Myes, I am writing because of this reason, or I'm
Hmm.
thinking about blah blah blah. Um, that's really nice. And can you find any more? I think there is
Sure.
one more, which isn't exactly an
Yes. Mhm.
introduction, but it is providing
Mhm.
more information.
Okay, I can see one. So he has attached his company presentation. So I would say I'm attaching our company presentation. So
Exactly.
that's not exactly a general phrase for introducing, but just because the presentation contains more information about the person or the company.
Yeah, exactly. And usually, if I'm, and again, well, not in this job, but in previous jobs, or if you're applying to a job as well, this works the same, as if you're applying
Hmm.
for a job. So you introduce yourself, while you're qualified. So as, a teacher with this experience, I am looking for blah, blah, blah. And then I would attach my resume. So if you need more information, if you have any further questions, I've attached my CV or I've attached my qualification. And it's the same
Hmm.
if you're reaching out to someone on behalf of a company. So you want to provide them with more information. You don't want to put everything in an email, um, because then they won't want to read it, but you want to be able to provide something. Okay, so let us know if you have any questions, guys, or if there are any of these phrases which you like or you're unsure about. The next we have, can you find any expressions in the text for explaining contact? So the reason why you have made contact.
Okay, so there is an expression in the second line or second paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we are usually using present continuous to introduce or explain why you're getting in touch. So we are also also on the telephone you would use a similar structure. So you would say, I'm calling to get some information. I'm calling to know about the product. So in the email, they say, I'm looking to expand our visibility.
Yeah, this is a phrase I use quite often. You can say, I'm looking to, but you could also say, again, using the present continuous, I'm emailing to get some more information, or I'm emailing to offer this service. So something in the present continuous. And you guys can practice as well in the comments if you want. So how would you explain your contact with our webinar? What would you say? Hi guys, we're here because I'm, and then what present continuous verb would you use? Okay, and there is also, oh, I like this. This isn't present continuous, but this is also okay. So I'd love to discuss. Really nice. Although one thing about email formality, and it's just kind of the conventions that we have now. But if you're emailing someone you don't know, you have to try to be as formal as possible. So no contractions. I would love to discuss blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so I'm emailing you because I would love to discuss.
Yes, I know we always encourage students to use contraction, but when you're writing something formal, like a formal email, then you don't use contraction in that case.
Yeah, and the only reason, maybe you would feel a bit strange writing a formal email, but in a work environment, the main reason we write formal emails is because we have to show that we're educated. That's basically why, unless you're emailing someone at work who you're really good friends or colleagues with. If you're just meeting someone and you don't want to be too formal, so you don't want to use, ridiculously formal language, you should really still not use contractions because we have to show that even though you're nice and friendly, you still have this education. Okay. So we have, I am looking to, and there is one more in this paragraph as well.
Yeah. So the other one would be, we want to appeal. So I like the use of we instead of I, so it makes it a little less direct.
Yeah.
So we as a company would like to, you want to. Okay.
Yeah, and it feels nicer as well that the whole company is involved in this one message. If I was Deborah and I was writing an email, I would say, as blah, 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 I'm emailing to discuss this, or I'm emailing to talk to you about this. And then in the second sentence, I'd love to discuss this further. So to be more confident and more direct about what you want. Okay. Are there any more? I don't think so.
I think no, that's it. That's it for explaining.
Sorry, I've just realized. I thought Deborah had suggested it herself, but I see I'd love to.
Me too.
Sorry. Okay, yeah. So the first two that we can see in these paragraphs are for explaining contact. I'd love to discuss, doesn't really explain the contact in this context because it's something they would like to do in future. So I'd love to discuss a collaboration in further detail. This is something I'd like for the future. This isn't the reason I'm emailing now. The reason I'm emailing is to interact at first, and in future, this is my goal.
This will be actually the next expression, I think. So it's a polite
Maybe.
contact.
So find expressions in the text for polite contact.
Yes.
Okay.
So one of them is I'd love to discuss.
Yes, one of them is. So I don't know if you already know this, and politeness. Politeness is not about education. I know it's a bit different in Italian, but politeness is about respect, really. So how respectful you are, if you have good manners, if you say please and thank you. And to be polite in an email, we use conditionals. So instead of saying directly, I will, I can, we're more likely to say I would, I could, we could, etc. Is politeness like diplomatic? Yeah, it can be. It can be a bit. But yeah, so one way
being diplomatic would be like being indirect. It is like a slight difference. Polite is more like being respectful, not trying not to offend, but diplomatic was like if you're saying no, but like in an indirect way, it would be diplomatic.
Yes, yes. But in terms of directness, to be more polite, usually we are less direct because it's seen as quite rude to be direct. It's very tricky in an email because in an email you want to be concise, which means you want to say what you want clearly and in little words. But we wouldn't say I want to discuss this collaboration, so we have to say I would like to. It's more polite. And the second one we can see is please let me know if you'd be free for a call. We could just say tell me when you're free, but again, this is too direct. It's too like harsh. So we have to use manners. Please, will you let me know? This is just, it just means tell me, but it's the longer way to do it.
Okay.
And again, also following this sentence. So please let me know if you'd be free for a call or you would be free for a call. Next Monday, again, it's different to saying, please let me know when you will be free. So still using the conditionals. Okay, and finally, find expressions for closing structures. How do they close up this email?
Yeah, so closing an email politely is also very important because it gives a good impression, especially if it's the first contact. You want to give a good impression. So these expressions at the end, towards the end, that you can see are very useful, are very common. So if you guys know which these expressions are, please write it down in the comment section. There are actually two of them, okay, towards the end, two expressions. Okay, so maybe I can give a hint. Here we have one of these expressions mean when you're saying, okay, I will wait for your email, waiting with pleasure.
Yes, that's a really nice way to say it, waiting with pleasure.
Yeah. So I have received some emails where people say, okay, I wait for your email. That's not correct. It's a better way to say here is.
Okay, nice. So yeah, Marco, almost we're in the right place. Definitely. So we have in the meantime. So in the meantime, like Anika said, this is while I'm waiting for your reply. So,
yes.
and it's always good to use phrases like this because it's nice ways of saying that I expect a reply, but it's not too pushy. So please let me know if you'd be free for a call in the meantime. So while I'm waiting for your response, which I'm sure I will get, blah, 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 please contact me. Please let me know if you have other questions. Please, can you send me other information? Blah, blah, blah. And then Marco is exactly right. Looking forward to hearing from you, which is also a nice, confident way, but a polite way to say, I expect a response. And it's always important if you want a response to, yes, well done, Deborah, as well, to include phrases like this. So I look forward to hearing from you. I don't know if there are any more, actually. You can say, I hope to hear from you soon, but it's a bit less confident, and sometimes people can just then ignore you. But looking forward to hearing from you shows that you're already waiting, so you're expecting a reply.
Another thing I think is more worth mentioning is that with look forward to, strangely enough, we always use the gerund. Like, I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to meeting you. Yeah. So, although in general,
well, if we use the verb, if we use the verb, it's the gerund, or otherwise it can be a noun. So I'm looking forward to your response to your email.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Or looking forward to our meeting.
Yeah. So it depends, but it's true. It's a good trick. And yeah, you're right, Anika. I've also seen I wait for your response. So it would be I'm waiting to hear from you. I'm waiting for your response.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Hang on. I think I've gone. Oh no. Okay. Sorry. I'm having so many issues.
No worries. So we have another email here, or no, it's a situation here that we're going to talk about. So we can use some of these expressions to like complete the sentences to give an example. So here's a situation. So I can read the situation and then we can both discuss. And also those of you watching, please feel free to whenever just jump in and keep examples if you want. So the situation is this: you are a project manager of Jamboree, a small event organizing company in Chicago. Write a brief email to the marketing director of Misty, a major soft drinks producer, asking if Misty is interested in creating any events to promote their soft drinks. You think that a bicycle race in Chicago is a great idea. Okay. So you're a project manager, small event, and you want to organize an event with the marketing director. So how would you guys...
Exactly. So I know that we had to start late. So I was going to say, I know we had to start late, so I'm a bit wary of time. But maybe we can show some of the introductions and then you guys can finish them for us. So, of course, we have when you first write an email, if you know who the person who you're emailing, you can say hello. You can say dear. Again, it depends on the formality. I like to say hello. But if you don't know who you're writing to, a good phrase to use is to whom it concerns, to whom it may concern. So to whom it may concern.
And also...
And then you go on to introduce yourself. So...
Yes. So just very quickly, I was thinking about the writing dear sir or madam, if you guys don't know the names. Dear sir or madam.
Ah, yes. That's also true.
Okay. So we
have... This is maybe the only time we will ever use the word sir and madam. Yes. But yeah. So we have the introduction expressions on the screen, you can see. So I'm writing on behalf of, as the director, or as whatever my position, comma, I would like to. And as you may already know, which is also a nice one, because it kind of makes you sound important. So as you may already know, this issue is happening or this event is happening, and you say it with confidence, so it makes the other person feel embarrassed. They don't want to say, no, I don't know. They want to say, oh, yeah, I've heard something about it. So lovely. So we have, good morning, I'm Deborah and I work for Jamboree as project manager. Excellent. We could also say, good morning, my name is Deborah. I'm writing on behalf of Jamboree. Or we can say, good morning, I'm writing on behalf of Jamboree. As the project manager, so my name is Deborah. As project manager, I am writing to, and then we can say, to let you know about this event, to ask for information, blah, blah. So really nice, Deborah. Okay. And then, yeah, next we have explaining contact. So once you've introduced yourself, let someone know why you're contacting. The first example we have is, I'm looking to expand. So expand is a word we use, which is synonymous to grow. So things you might want to grow are your contacts, your market. So think about what you might like to grow, or you can use a different verb if you don't like expand. And then the second one is, we want to appeal. And appeal has some different definitions. But generally it means to be liked or to get something from. So I'd like to appeal to your company to allow us to do this thing. I would like you to like us and give us what we want.
Yeah. Okay, so appeal really depends on context. Like, so it can also mean, like, I think in this case, it would mean to request for something, like we want to appeal for an event we'd like to organize in this scenario. Okay.
Yeah, to make like, it's kind of to make a heartfelt request, you can say.
Yeah.
So
to appeal for something. Okay, to make a request. So after explaining contact, what's the next part? So we were talking about polite contact before. Okay, so in this scenario, we would say, I'd love to discuss about an idea that might interest you. Sounds sounds like you want to be involved in something that that has common interest with the other company. So I'd like to discuss, or you could just say, I'd like to discuss an event I'd like to organize with your company in further detail. We also talked about previously, please let me know if you'd be free for. So we got, so we have some replies here from Marco. As project manager of Jamboree, we would like to create an event to promote your brand. Okay, nice, that's good.
very nice. You can see he works in communications.
Yes, very nice. And so we talked about, please let me know if you'd be free for. So this is really nice expression for organizing a discussion, a meeting, or even a phone call if you prefer. So please let me know if you would be free for a phone call at 3 p.m. tomorrow. So lastly, the next expression would be, Monday sounds great. So I think this is something you would typically see in a reply email. So if somebody had already written to you saying, would Monday be all right with you? So Monday sounds great. So, or if you want to be more, if you're first time writing,
that's definitely more of a response.
Yes. And then we could also say, would you be free on Monday, for example? Would you be available? Or would Monday be all right?
So I've just combined Marco and Deborah's responses and then added in an extra sentence in the comments. So what we have at the moment is, "Dear Sir or Madam, I'm Deborah, I kept your name, and I work for Jamboree as project manager. As a member of Jamboree, we would like to create an event to promote your band." And then I just added in a bit more information. So we think a bicycle race in Chicago is something that could get your brand a lot of attention. And then perfect, Marco, this fits in really well. We could, and great use of modal, so it's a lot more polite. We could discuss the event in further detail by having a phone call. And then would be convenient for you next Monday at 3 p.m. is almost perfect. Just the order of the sentence. So would Monday at 3 p.m. be convenient for you? Because this time that we're suggesting, you can imagine, is like the subject of the sentence. So would Monday be convenient for you? Is Wednesday okay? We always keep to the subject, verb, object, or in a question, of course, verb and subject to switch, but we don't really change from this sentence structure in English. So honestly, really nice. And then finally, in our email, we have a closing structure. So some examples are, in the meantime, if you have any question, obviously in the email we've written, probably we wouldn't use in the meantime, because we've asked a direct question, would you be available for this phone call? But you could say, if you have any questions, well, no, I guess you could say in the meantime before the phone call, if you have any questions, you can email me back, or you can let me know is also a nice way.
Feel free
And then,
to let me know.
yeah, it's true. That's also another nice phrase. So how do you close emails usually? For me, again, it depends on the context, but if I'm waiting for a reply like this, or for example, if I'm sending out an email for a job, I do always say, if you have any further questions, or if you would like any additional information, please don't hesitate to contact me. And this just means if you need something, I am available. So I'm happy for you to let me know.
Yes, that's a very good one.
Hope to hear from you soon. Looking forward to hearing from you. But I never, well, I have in the past, again, it depends on what your job is. But unless you're sending a very formal email, which again, I doubt you are, or unless you're sending an email that's a bit angry, I don't usually sign off with regards. I usually sign off with thanks, which I think is just as appropriate. Thanks.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. And yeah, these are also lovely. So Deborah, I hope that I've answered your questions. So we don't need to say answered to. With ask and answer, the to is always implied. So we don't ask to a person, we just ask them. And again, we don't answer to a person, we just answer them. They're really nice. And I also like this. Thanks in advance for your help. It's polite but confident.
Yes. Yeah, great.
Yeah, so we can say also for your help or for your support. So we're a bit out of time. But if you guys have any questions, then please let us know now. And otherwise, Anika, is there anything else you'd like to add or go over?
I think these are already a lot of expressions that you could use for your first email to someone. So try using them. So if there are some expressions that you haven't used before, it's now the time to practice. Okay.
Yes.
And thank you guys for your
Definitely.
participation today. It was really great. So thank you, Deborah and Marco.
Yeah, it's just maybe one extra thing I'd say. Probably I wouldn't say thanks for your attention, but I would say thanks for your time, or thanks for taking the time
Yeah.
to read this email, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but thank you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.